God loves you and you are forgiven. Now smile, put your hands in your pockets. Perfect. So how are your kids doing? Good. Give me the shot of soccer practice. Brad, thank you. Water, thank you. Next table. No running! Cannibal! Place your bag on the scale. No, 51 pounds, overweight. Did you find everything okay? Sure did. I'd like to count the check, please.
Hey guys, how you going? Okay, I'm going to have to cut this one up for YouTube. I hope you liked the first little video. It was just a bit of something funny for a change. Geoloff tagged me in that. Okay, then we have this one, Geoloff tagged me in. And it's part 3, George Webb Investigative Journal. Short hair looks like crooks. Oh, where's the above post? Okay, anyway, this looks like crooks. I think he's just tied his hair back. Maybe. Same guy. Yeah, because there's the curls. It looks like he's tied his hair back. Maxwell Yerrick, Facebook, pictures before his Facebook was deleted and Tumblr was also deleted and his username matches the same username. For his Facebook, he went by the name of Ink. Of what? Oh, no. Where's the rest of the... Oh. Okay, well anyway, I've got this bit, okay? I don't know where the rest of it is. Just hang on a sec. I'll look through my messages. Okay, we've got this update. Gunman at Trump rally was often a step ahead of the Secret Service. Text messages obtained exclusively by the Times indicate that some law enforcement officers were aware of Thomas Crooks earlier than previously known, and he was aware of them. Very interesting. Okay, then you've got George Webb, investigative journalist, saying the efforts are paying off. Hang in there. Forwarded from the General. Breaking. Senator Josh Hawley has introduced a bill to declassify information on the attempted assassination of former President Trump. So I'm still looking at this because I want to see how this plays out. I want to see how it unfolds to the public. Okay, we've also got police find shooter spot a van near Butler site, but FBI suppressed the story. Isn't that like FBI suppressing OJ's white Ford Bronco? This time it's a Chevy van, Express. What happened to the Hyundai Sonata that Crooks drove to Butler? He drove 2 cars according to the FBI. See, there's more going on here, guys, than what they're telling us. Obviously, we know that. Okay, so then we have this one, New View. Templar said shooter caught on video walking while being followed by an officer. There he is there, and there's an officer behind him. 2, actually. 2 police officers. So what exactly is going on here? What did we learn from this? How it went down? Hey, officer, I have this rifle with a scope and I want to get a better view of the president talking. Right this way. There's a small ladder I can get for you as well. Right, they just opened a path in security and seemed to let him right through. I wonder if he was the good guy. There we go. I don't know. It's very interesting, though. Cat Turd said, bam. C-Spire said, we were shocked by the mockery of the Last Supper during the opening ceremony of the Paris Olympics. C-Squire will be pulling our advertising from the Olympics, and I believe a few others are too. US Civil Defense News said the Patsy with his handler, maybe? Look at this. I want to know who these people are, who these suits are. Okay, Tommy Robinson over in the UK. Emergency admin post, please share far and wide. We can confirm that Tommy Robinson has been detained by police using powers afforded to them under the Terrorism Act 2000. That's right, you read that correctly. Tommy's being held by police using counter-terrorism legislation. We will update you as and when we can. Please sign the petition to pressure the Attorney General to put a stop to the political prosecution of Tommy Robinson. And there is a, I'm going to retweet this for anyone in the UK. Breaking, the General said, an unknown object has just crashed in a forest near Brasov, Romania. Okay, something's crashed. I have no idea what is going on. 40 Head said, man, I threw that airplane a long way. And Mimi Trump said, they're here. Okay, took the FBI 9 days to tell America President Trump was actually shot when we saw it live. Let's see how long it takes the officials in Romania to tell us what happened. Heather said, Q Project Bluebeam. Heather, we've got the same name and we think the same. That's what I was thinking straight away. Is this Project Bluebeam? I can't see anything there, really. Bit of a glow over here somewhere. Can't really see anything, so don't know what that was about, but I'll keep my eyes open. Concerned citizens said the French Olympic Committee have been busy issuing copyright notices on clips shared of their embarrassingly pathetic satanic ritual of an opening ceremony. All videos have been removed. Too late. We saw it all. Watch your viewing figures decline faster than Joe Biden's cognitive ability. Okay. There we go. It looks like Bill Gates is a psycho status. Okay, yep, okay. Well, go that person. Ollie London said this is the man who mocked 2.4 billion Christians last night. Queer artist Thomas Jolly directed the Paris Olympics opening ceremony. Jolly was behind the idea for recreating Jesus' Last Supper with drag queens, which featured a near-naked blue Smurf man and a drag queen exposing his testicle next to a young child. The artistic director said he wanted everyone to feel represented. Oh dear God. Yeah, I'm a black patriot. You are right. They target Christians because they don't fear any backlash. Who wants to bet they'll never mock Prophet Muhammad again? Yeah, if he mocked Islam, he'd be dead already. Exactly. 40 Heads said, this is one of three. I have an extremely strong feeling that Kamala Harris will not be the Democrats' final presidential candidate running against Donald Trump. And I think her name will soon be pronounced Kamala because she or her family is going to get paid a stack of money for her to walk away from the election, just like they paid off Bernie Sanders to walk away in 2016, allowing Hillary to take the lead Democrat spot against Trump. This thread is going to be supplementing what I've already posted before. I'm asking you to refer to both my 7-part audio post from the wee morning hours of July 24th, 2 days before Obama announced support for Kamala. Then please read my 7-part written thread from the wee morning hours of July 26, 6 hours before Obama announced support for Kamala. Both threads are very important. You're going to see not only a progression of events from when I recorded and wrote these posts, but they provide strategic and crucial information that I'm going to be drawing on for today's thread. Oh dear me, there's a lot here. How long does this go for? Okay, 2 minutes. It's 1 of 8. Okay. I'll read this one. 40 Head, a quick and very important 7-part thread. All of the political talk going on in the country, all the lies, all the deception right now is culminating into a very significant effort to cover up extremely important facts that they don't want you to remember. One person has been telling us the truth throughout all of it, and many folks have been totally missing it. We are seeing hints of these truths all the way back to June 2024. In fact, there were earlier discussions about this, but I'm using the New York Times in this because of how widely it's read. The entire world saw this article. The New York Times was telling us a full month ago in June there was a very real probability that Joe Biden would not be the Democrat Party candidate for the 2024 election. This was before Trump destroyed Biden in the debate. This was before the assassination attempt against Trump. This was before the covered-up AF1 medical episode of Biden, I believe. Okay. Trump has been calling out the Democrat Party leaders for months, saying Joe Biden would not be the party's candidate, which also means Kamala Harris would not be running as VP. But do you remember Joe Biden has never stated at any time that Kamala Harris would in fact be his running mate come November? Do you remember just 2 weeks ago how peed off Kamala Harris was at the party hurriedly discussed possible VP running mates for Joe Biden? Donald Trump and JD Vance pointed this out as recently as just 1 week ago when they announced that JD Vance would not commit to wasting his time and resources in a debate against Kamala Harris unless Joe Biden officially nominated her as his 2024 running mate. Joe Biden never made that commitment. The media was presenting numerous possible choices for Biden's VP running mate. Kamala Harris was all but out of politics as the discussion grew, and she knew it. Democrats knew that Harris was doing absolutely nothing for Joe's chances against Trump. The outspoken clue came from Trump and Vance when they refused to schedule debates against Kamala Harris because nobody knew who Joe Biden was going to choose for his VP running mate. In response to questions about the debate schedule, senior advisor of the Trump campaign, Brian Hughes, cited uncertainty surrounding the Democratic nominee for vice president. We don't know who the Democrat nominee for vice president is going to be, so we can't lock in a date before the DNC, he stated in a statement on running mate debate as per Newsweek. Yet another observation, Joe Biden is so confused he says Donald Trump is his vice president. He can't speak a single understandable sentence, and yet he's still holding the office of the President of the United States. He completely bombed the debate against Trump. Half the Democrat Party wants him to drop out, but Jill refuses. Then the unthinkable, an attempted assassination against Trump. By the hand of God, it fails, but an American lost their life in the attack and others were injured. The Secret Service failed Trump and then worked with the FBI to cover up their insolence. Then, and only then, does Joe decide he's better step down. He wasn't going to quit until after he'd heard the shooter missed. Suddenly, Democrats are crying coup by party elites. AOC shockingly proclaims that Obama and certain party leaders forced Biden out. At the same time, Kamala Harris hits the campaign trail saying she's the DNC presumptive Democrat nominee, and she takes Biden's campaign funds worth $91 million and starts spending it. She changes the FEC Biden campaign paperwork and leaves Joe in the dust. But how is this legal? Joe Biden never officially documented Harris as his VP running mate to begin with. Trump made sure we knew that just a week or so ago by refusing to have Vance debate Harris because she had not yet been named Biden's VP running mate. Biden said he's giving Harris his campaign funds, which would violate numerous campaign finance donation laws. You can't just give a candidate $91 million unless you're the Saudis and you're giving it to Hillary. Trump is telling the FEC, Federal Election Commission, that they must block Harris from having access to Biden's campaign funds. Harris is acting like she's already the Democrat Party choice for 2024, but the party refuses to nominate her before the August 17th Democrat National Convention. She's rushing to make emotional arguments to secure the party nomination. But Barack Obama's quite clearly shown he does not support Harris. He's leading the charge to take the Democrat Party towards other candidates. He has not supported Harris at all, and is actually echoing many of Trump's comments that Harris is not the party's candidate. The media is just as divided. They have continued to discuss the very real possibility that Harris will not be the party choice. So Harris is spending money she doesn't have a legal right to spend, and whomever the party does choose will be missing all of the money Harris has been illegally spending. Trump has spent tens of millions against the Joe Biden campaign leading up to this week's apparent decision by Joe Biden to drop out of the race. Trump said Biden wouldn't remember dropping out, and sure enough, the very next day Biden tried to go right back to campaigning against Trump. Either he didn't really drop out and the letter on his exit account announcing his dropout out of the race wasn't real, which means AOC was right, or his mental ineptitude caused him to forget and Trump was right. The point is Biden is officially out. Trump is pissed and says the Republican Party should be reimbursed for all their campaign money spent against Biden, now that the party has convinced Biden to drop out. This is where I realise what Trump was saying beyond just a simple request to be reimbursed. The way he worded it, Trump is actually predicting it's going to happen again. The Democrats are going to run a candidate and unofficially prop them up until it becomes obvious that that person cannot beat Trump. Then the Democrats will simply continue to cycle other candidates in, forcing Trump to effectively campaign against numerous candidates instead of campaigning against just one like normal. Check out this article. Tell me if you see this assertion by Trump. And so Trump being very smart by refusing to debate Harris right away, if Trump doesn't destroy the placeholder in the debate, the Democrats will have to destroy their own acting candidate on their own, further dividing and weakening the Democrat Party. The fact is that the September debate was scheduled weeks ago, and it was scheduled to be a debate against Joe Biden. So that alone is proof that Trump sees the game the Democrats are playing. He has now cancelled that debate. Why would Trump agree to debate Harris now when the Democrat Party has not officially named her as the party candidate for the 2024 election? The media is horrifyingly lying, with poll results showing Harris is leading Trump right now. If you're on any type of social media, you'll see true representation of the American people. Online polls crossing every walk of life in America show that Trump is leading every online poll, by 50 points or more with hundreds of thousands of votes. The media is trying to get Americans to force Trump into a debate with Biden's failed border czar, VP Kamala Harris. When Trump refuses, for the extremely good reasons I've laid out for you, the media paints it as though Trump is scared of Harris. What an absolute shit show. Harris doesn't stand a chance against Trump, and if she's not chosen as the Democrat candidate, she's likely to face campaign finance crimes for illegitimately using Biden's campaign funds without proper permission. Harris knows as soon as the Democrats choose someone else as their 2024 candidate, her political career will be over. She'll be appropriately blamed for hiding Biden's cognitive failures and for destroying America's national security by unleashing tens of millions of illegal immigrants into America as Biden's border czar. So Trump has refused to debate any Democrat until the party officially designates their candidate for 2024. The truth is, even then, they could pull their support from a candidate and choose someone else and blame it on illness or something, though that at that point they will invite the scourge and outrage of all of the US. For now, Trump is telling us all of us, Kamala is breaking the law, Obama is trying to maintain his shadow presidency, and Democrats are playing a very unethical political game. Trump makes it known he's not going to play the Democrats' games. Given the continued political chaos surrounding crooked Joe Biden and the Democrat Party, general election debate details cannot be finalised until Democrats formally decide on their nominee, he said in a statement. There's a strong sense by many in the Democrat Party, namely Barack Hussein Obama, that Kamala Harris is a Marxist fraud who cannot beat President Trump, and they're still holding out for someone better. Therefore, it would be inappropriate to schedule things with Harris because Democrats very well could still change their minds. Gavin Newsom, Harris's former boss, is just one of those being considered by Obama. So I'll wait and see how it all goes. In the meantime, you now know the truth behind the lies. Please share this thread so folks know why Trump and Vance are refusing to debate. They're not scared. They're not worried. They're just not going to be played by the Democrats' political games. And then I'll get back to the original 3-piece thread he was talking about. Okay, so the first part of this thread was him telling us to read this one and possibly listen to this. I think we get it. If you listen to and read those previous threads, you'll have an understanding of where I'm going with this. Kamala is playing a dangerous game right now. I'm fairly certain she knows she'll not be the candidate running against Donald Trump in November of this year. Knowing that, she saw the writing on the wall that her political career is over because of her horrible performance as vice president under an even more horrible president, Joe Biden. She knew she would be walking away with nothing but disgrace, and nobody's going to hire her for any position of public trust. She saw an opportunity to make a tremendous amount of money, and she took it. I'm not talking about the $91 million in Joe Biden's campaign funds. I'm not even talking about the $100 million that she allegedly raised through what is being called money laundering through the Democrat Party. She knows she can't just take that money and put it in her own account because she used to be a prosecutor, and she knows there's too much risk in that. However, she does know that if she gets indicted, it will cause an absolutely massive scandal for the Democrat Party, not to mention that money be tied up in criminal investigations. It will be unavailable to the Democrat Party for whoever they do run against Donald Trump in November. So she's effectively kidnapping Joe Biden's campaign funds, which is actually illegal, and Donald Trump even pointed this out with a grievance to the Federal Election Commission, FEC. If you read the 7-part thread above, you can find the link to that story. It became very apparent to me how truly ingenious Kamala is by doing what she did. Ingenious, sorry. She's ingenious by what she did. Barack Obama made it very clear that she would not be his choice to take over the shadow presidency that he has been running through Joe Biden. In fact, Hussein was the #1 Democrat Party leader that refused to endorse her as soon as the Biden resignation letter showed up on his social media account. Remember, Obama expressly stated, "We will decide who takes Joe's place in November." He did not mention Kamala one time in his response to Biden stepping down from the 2024 campaign. So Kamala grabs the campaign cash and immediately sets out on the campaign trail before anyone can stop her. In fact, if you ask me, she's already been preparing for this several days before the letter showed up on Joe Biden's social media account. You don't just take a Secret Service crew and book a trip to a location and line up audio-visual and get reporters ready and coordinate security and traffic and all that stuff in 20 or 30 minutes. She had this planned and is likely behind at least one of the coups against Joe Biden. Yes, there may be 2 coups, maybe more. Wow. So Kamala grabs the cash and starts campaigning, immediately starts pulling elected Democrats to herself so that the party would be split beyond 50-50 if anyone challenged her. And the thing is, if the Democrat Party does decide to go with somebody else, that person will be shorted of all the money that Kamala has been spending since she started her campaign activities. But be sure of one thing, she's breaking the law. Donald Trump has pointed this out and there are numerous news agencies reporting it as well. Why? Because Joe Biden never chose Kamala to be his vice president. Therefore, she does not have the legal right to take over the campaign or the finances that it produced. J.D. Vance and Donald Trump were sure to note this as well. When just a few days before the Biden dropout letter appeared, Vance and Trump refused to schedule any debates with Vance against Kamala because Joe Biden had not chosen her yet as his vice presidential running mate for 2024. If you read my 7-part thread above, you saw proof for that. And Colin Rugg said, new investigative journalist Seymour Hersh suggests Barack Obama threatened Biden with the 25th Amendment, said he had Kamala's approval to force him out of the race. What is the point to all of this? How is Kamala kidnapping the campaign money? And if she's doing this, why would the Democrat Party be rushing to try and nominate her as their primary candidate for the general election? Kamala now has $191 million of Democrat voter donations for her presidential campaign, and at least $91 million of it is illegally obtained. So if the Democrats do not choose her to be their primary candidate, then she will most likely face criminal charges due to Donald Trump's letter to the Federal Election Commission. That money will then become part of a federal criminal investigation. The Democrats will have no access to it to conduct their campaign against Donald Trump, and since the $100 million was captured by her while she was in the midst of committing campaign fraud, it too could be seized. So we could be looking at $191 million being confiscated from the Democrat Party during the criminal investigation. That's a lot of money, folks. And if it's wrapped up in some investigation, it could take months before it could be released back to the Democrats, or worse for them. It could be refunded to the donors, and Kamala knows it. So she runs this play where she risks going to prison and has put the money in a precarious situation. If the Democrats do not rush to get her nominated so that she actually qualifies legally to have this money, all of that money could be frozen for a considerable amount of time. This is why the Democrats are willing to subject themselves to incredible scrutiny and insult and constitutional analysis by saying they're going to do a virtual appointment of Kamala ahead of August 7th DNC convention. Taking all that great is a better option than having $191 million confiscated right before an election against Donald Trump. Lots of media outlets are talking about how the Democrats are abandoning democracy, the Constitution and their party rules in order to rush her nomination, despite the fact that she never participated in a primary and she's earned 0 delegates. There are other Democrats who would be willing to run for president now that Joe Biden has stepped down, but if the party rushes to nominate Kamala, those people will not be given their legal right to run, much less have a chance at the $191 million campaign fund. So she has effectively forced Democrats to nominate her, but I believe she also knows she cannot beat Trump. So the money will not be frozen because she will be the candidate, but then she'll also be paid to drop out so that a real candidate who has a better chance can be lined up by the Democrats and the campaign purse will be handed to them instead. This was an extremely crafty move and I honestly didn't think she had it in her. My theory has been backed up by the fact that Obamas have now endorsed Kamala. This was not their plan. She forced their hand. And so did we by talking about the points in my threads I started you out with. So August 7th Democrat convention will be pointless because she'll be nominated before then. Democracy destroyed by Democrats, isn't that ironic? And here they were telling us Donald Trump would destroy democracy. There is quite a bit of evidence, paired with an enormous amount of rumour from 2016, that Bernie Sanders took a payout to drop out and let Hillary Clinton run solo against Donald Trump. We all know how well that worked out for her. Bernie just happened to buy a very expensive house and I believe a new car immediately afterwards, in the range of $1 million or so when it was all said and done. I expect that Kamala will be demanding much more, and I think she'll get it. And then whoever the Democrats choose to run against Trump will have their campaign purse. Then Kamala will have her fat stack of cash for dropping out, and Trump will have to run against yet another Democrat Party candidate in this wild and crazy election year. Wow. That was really interesting, guys. You can tell me what you think of that down below. Very well possibly is. Okay, Alexandria Marshall here in Australia, we have now a view tax. Seriously, there's nothing these greedy, thieving lefty councils won't tax. The streets are riddled with serious crime, energy bills have doubled, families are in crisis. But sure, let's tax people for having a view of the beach. Un-Australian to the core, Gold Coast high-rise apartment owners hit with view tax as council raises the rates. Now they're getting hit with the view tax. Unbelievable. MJ Truth Ultra said, Dear Elon Musk, I woke up this morning to learn that myself and many other accounts were locked out of their accounts for sharing clips of the Olympics. I'm sure some were suspended over this. Someone named Jonathan Smits, a representative of Althetia on behalf of the International Olympic Committee MAS, reported DMCA takedown notices and effectively suspending accounts. I woke up this morning to learn that myself and many other accounts were locked out of their accounts for sharing clips of the Olympics. I'm sure some were suspended over this. Someone named Jonathan Schmitz, a representative of Athletia on behalf of the International Olympic Committee MAS, reported DMC takedown notices and has been effectively suspending accounts. There is no way to get back on our X account unless you admit you violated X's terms and remove the content. In my particular case, I was offering commentary and criticism of the mocking Christianity. Why is this not considered fair use? Section 107 of the US Copyright of 1976. Yep, abuse of copyright system and censorship. Okay, Mr. Denmore said, okay, Trump apologists and normalises in Australia. He's really saying this out loud. What are you going to do? I honestly urge everybody to go and listen to the whole thing because it's taken out of context. You half-wit. There you go. Straight away, Aussiebot. You have taken what he said out of context. Watch the whole video and stop following on like a sheep. Exactly. Anyone who's starting to promote this thing, okay, it's taken way out of context, guys. Get rid of that. I don't want to like it. Greg said, dang it, the Olympics deleted all evidence of their weird opening ceremony. So whatever you do, please don't post any screenshots below. And what has happened? Yep. Oh dear. Yes, and there was something about the pale horse as well. I'll look that up in a minute. Okay, here it is. 40 head. It gets more troubling when you realise this scene might actually mean something entirely different and very dark. Revelation 6:8 is what everybody is pointing to with the rider on the pale horse in the opening ceremony of the Paris Olympics. The Greek word for that verse for pale is this here, and it's often translated as ashen or grey. When compared to all the other imagery in the opening ceremony, I'm fairly confident that's what they were suggesting. But it becomes something altogether different when you recall the book, Behold a Pale Horse, written by former intelligence officer Bill Cooper. In that book, he describes how the government helped coordinate the introduction of military-type guns into society to scare everyday citizens into demanding stricter gun laws. Then they used therapists and psychiatrists to encourage disturbed people into committing school shootings. They did all this with the premeditated purpose of forcing gun control on the country. Oh, I can't read that. Okay, I cannot read that. This looks legit to me, astonishing as she quotes, as the quotes are, what say you all, behold a pale horse. Okay, and I can't read it because there's 2 scenes before the pale horse, including fire and death, where they're predicting war, because that's where all this is going at some point. And 40 Head said, maybe we could find an interpretive dance specialist that could tell us what this means. I have no clue. Huh. Okay, very interesting. Okay, Geoloff said, Manhattan, New York, city fights back finally. The Persistence said, holy cow, does anyone see what's happening in New York? Hundreds of New York citizens protesting against illegal alien shelters in Brooklyn. Never seen anything like this. Why is no one reporting? This is from today. So people in the US are protesting. Sorry, New York. Very interesting. Okay. So when was that from? Like 2 days ago, maybe? John Collins said the founder of Blackwater, real Eric Prince, said the shot that killed the assassin was 488-yard shot. Problem is, it's not 488 yards from the Secret Service sniper to the kid on the roof. It's 354 yards. But it's exactly 488 from this sniper to the water tower. Oh dear. There you go. Leading reports said breaking, Trump has a 60% chance of beating Kamala Harris in the 2024 election, according to Polymarket. I think it'll be higher than that. Okay. John Goddard says, dear sane Australians, I hate to be the one to tell you this, but we cannot vote our way out of this. The apathetic majority are too plugged in, too dependent. They drank the Kool-Aid and are eagerly awaiting their fate. They've consciously opted for a life of shackles to safety. They want to be serfs, and I mean that literally. They see the political class enriching themselves at their expense. They see home ownership becoming a pipe dream. They see the TV telling lies to their face. And do you think the apathetic majority protest against this? No. In fact, they facilitate their own demise. They cheer for big government agenda and vote it back in every 3 years. Obedient sheep, they thank their overlords for plundering half their wealth and openly mocking them. I'll say it again, we cannot vote our way out of this. The opposing momentum is too great. At best, a few good candidates might win seats in Parliament, but without the majority, all they can do is act like a handbrake, slowing the rate of social decline. But is that our goal, merely slowing the rate of decline? That's certainly not my goal, and it shouldn't be yours. My sights are elevated toward a higher goal, prosperity and freedom, excellence and virtue. A total victory, not a handbrake. But this can't be achieved within our democracy, over which the uniparty and state-funded media have a stranglehold. All this system offers is the illusion of choice to those too brain-dead to realise the left and right use each other as public scapegoats while working together behind closed doors to increase their own power and that of the state. The only solution in my mind is to opt out. Save in Bitcoin, pay with cash, avoid tax, acquire land. That's nearly impossible here in Australia. Disobey bad laws, throw your TV out the window, grow your own food, connect with like-minded individuals, do business with them and only them, move into the same neighbourhoods, take over a council, take over a state or create a new one, secede. Stop being meek victims of circumstance and act like the conquerors who came before you. Eventually you will realise that there are more of us than they want you to believe, and that's when the real fun will start. look, if I was really healthy in that, you know, like, yeah, fair enough. I'm not. Okay, I've got a lot on Maria Abramovic. I did bookmark a whole lot of stuff, which I'm going to have to make another folder for, so I can show you all of this again. Alexandria Marshall said, instead of blaming Australians for complaining about migrant crime, why not start asking migrants why they come to Australia, seeking safety, and then set up criminal gangs and pick up the flags of third world religious conflicts? They are responsible for their bad behaviour. We are well within our right to ask them to either stop or leave. Soon our country will be unsafe for everyone. Then where will we run? Exactly. Where are you going to run to? Jake Shields said, for 30 years, Germany ran the Kentler Project all the way into the 1990s. Young orphan boys were forced to live with gay pedos where they would be raped. This was approved and funded by the German Senate. When this story leaked to the media, it was mostly buried and no one was even prosecuted. Thankfully, the good guys won World War II. Oh my goodness. Yeah. See, I don't think this has ended. Okay, that's the thread I just read out, so I'll like that separately. Tracy said, this is absurd. What's up with all this man-hating lately? This is incredibly offensive to women. As a woman, oh geez, now I'm doing it. Have you noticed how people have been saying woman as women? Like they read the word the same way, okay? This is incredibly offensive to women. As a woman, I have no problem sitting next to a male on an aircraft. We've been doing it for years. How is this not discriminatory? If the roles had been reversed, there would have been a huge public outcry and the airline would have been cancelled. Sky News Australia said women will soon be able to avoid sitting next to male strangers on a plane in a first ever initiative launched by a popular airline. Women can now decline to sit next to a man on this passenger airline. Oh my God. What if they identify as a woman for the flight? Ooh. You won't have a choice, love. If they identify as a woman, you're going to have to sit next to them. You know, because they really want to look after your safety. They don't want to divide anyone or anything, you know. Okay, Nat said, as a French woman, I'm deeply embarrassed by this opening ceremony and would like to apologise to the entire world for subjecting you all to this sick farce. Don't hate us. This isn't us. It's the woke metropolitan elite. They ruin everything. Mark PG said, how many millions around the world have been turned off the Olympics because of the worst woke opening ceremony in history? Okay. Alexandra Marshall said, mass migration leading to Sharia law in Australia is just a conspiracy theory from racists. Meanwhile, here's what the Islamic preachers are saying. Mr. Usaid, signalling he wanted an alternative route to power where Muslims could make Sharia law the dominant form of law in Australia. Okay, they want to get in a position where Muslims have power so they can implement more of the way in Sharia law. So, yeah. The only way Australia can reduce the cost of living and make energy cheap again, Mecca, is to build 25 gigawatt of new coal-fired power stations over the next 15 years and power them with Australian coal rather than ship all our coal to China. Problem is we have gutless and cowardly politicians that have sold out the nation to the globalist net zero scam. By the way of comparison, China currently has 393 gigawatt of new coal-fired capacity in the pipeline, in addition to the 1,100 gigawatt they already have. Is it gigawatt? Or is it something else? If you know, if it's something else, tell me, please, in the comments below. And I don't know if you know this about Australia, but we have to pay to get our trolleys, you know, shopping trolley. Adam White said, my local Coles decided to put this apparatus on each trolley, which requires a coin. Of course, so few people now use coins, which makes this old idea totally ridiculous. And also, Coles discourages people to use cash at its self-serve checkout. What a world we live in. Yes, well, Yeah, it's insane, isn't it? They want to diminish cash, but yet you put a $1 coin in the bottom one or a $2 coin in the top one. And, yeah, they want you to go card. Yeah, wait till you see these things with machines all over them. They'll only take card next. So I won't be using a trolley if that happens. I'll be digging out my own little old lady trolley and using that. Okay, Craig Kelly said, hey, ACCC, how is a $655.50 late payment fee a 37% surcharge, not an unlawful penalty? Disgraceful unlawful conduct by AGL ripping off Australians struggling the most with high electricity. And why isn't Blackout Bowen or any other Labor, Liberal, Green or Teal politician calling out AGL for trying to rip off consumers with unlawful penalties? We just have useless politicians. While AGL are entitled to a late payment fee, it must be commiserate with the additional cost to AGL to be lawful. A 37% loading or $655.50 extra is just an unlawful penalty fraudulently dressed up as a discount. Hey, Stephen Jones, you're Minister responsible for Consumer Affairs. Why the inaction? Because this is what they've been doing for years. Okay, the amount due is $1,778.64, or if paid after the due date, it's $2,434.16. I've been caught by this years ago. AGL are not good. This is not good. It's all right if you can pay before the due date, but if you have any problem at all, they're going to add $600. And I advise everybody to check their meters because our meter was read wrong and they had to drop $250 off my bill because they read the meter wrong. Yeah, I don't think that it's not actually a late fee. The actual bill's the higher amount, the smaller amount is a pay on time discount if paid by the due date. Yeah, but it's still, how can they say, it still doesn't make any sense really. Discounted if paid on the due date. Well, why don't they just give everyone the discount if they can just do this? Or is it only discounted to people who have the money to pay on the due date? And it's dressed up as a discount, I believe. Look, it may seem like a discount, but I think it is dressed up as a discount. Anyway, it makes no sense. Alexandria Marshall said an Islamic woman in Australia, a migrant, organised a marriage for her daughter against her daughter's wishes that resulted in her being murdered by the new husband. And she might face jail, but, you know, cultural differences. How do these people make Australia's character assessment? Why isn't this offence an automatic deportation? We need to stop tolerating barbaric culture differences and start ruthlessly enforcing Australian cultural standards. If you don't like it, don't come here. There you go. Oscar's trying to say Australian cultural standards such as white Anglo-Saxon Australian men murdering their girlfriends and wives. Is that the standard you mean? Yeah, well, you don't need to import more of it. Seriously. Paul Fimagnari said, read the whole profile and then try and tell me that Labor isn't rotten to the core. See how you go snagging a job like that with that kind of record. I'd love to know someone else who was going for the job at the time if he was the best choice. This is in response to Tanya Plibersek, who stopped Jabiluka from being mined for uranium. We're going to add it to Kakadu National Park instead. Oh, so they're locking up even more national parks so that the uranium can't be used because nuclear, right? Because they're against it, right? Because they want the renewables and all the money that they're invested in. And you know who her hubby is? Michael Coates-Trotter. Okay, he's a public servant who's currently Secretary of the New South Wales Treasury. Dear God. He was previously the Secretaries of the New South Wales Department of Premier and Cabinet, Department of Communities and Justice, the Director Generals of the Department of Education, Department of Finance and Services. He served almost 3 years of a 9-year prison sentence after being convicted for the importation and distribution of heroin into Australia in 1986. And now he's running the Treasury. He ran the Department of Communities and Justice, the Department of Education. Oh my God. He was born in England and arrived in Australia with his parents in 1976. He went to St. Ignatius College, Riverview, which is you have to have a lot of money. In 1986, he received a 9-year prison sentence as a drug dealer selling heroin to addicts. He served 2 years and 9 months in jail before being paroled in 1988. He graduated from the University of Technology, Sydney, with a degree in communications. Then he was appointed Director General of New South Wales Department of Education. This is why our education system's fuck. This is why everything in the government's fuck. Seriously. People like this, a heroin dealer, is now the current Secretary of the New South Wales Treasury. My God. That's why everyone says that the Tanya Plibersek, she's the wife of a heroin dealer. Okay. Zeke Arkham said, can anyone explain to me why Trump didn't do all the horrible, inhumane, unconstitutional things you're all saying he's going to do while he was president for 4 years? I mean, if he's literally a dictator, why didn't he do the dictator things when he had the capability to do so? What's the difference between now and then? Explain it like I'm 5, please, and thank you. Oh. He's not going to be a dictator. Far out. They're so desperate for anything on him. Alter of Ego said everyone was worried that America and Western world will turn into communist China. Nobody knows that we should have worried about turning into Sodom and Gomorrah. The apocalypse is coming, said Alter of Ego. I just got stuff off the Olympics. Caballero said, leave it to the French to turn Olympics into a recreation of Sodom and Gomorrah. I think they need to be conquered again. That's a joke. That's a joke. Okay, Serenity said, like in the times of Sodom and Gomorrah, gayest Olympics ever. Paris Olympics opens with suggested bisexual threesome. Nirvana Mahmood said, absolutely disgusting. Oh, okay. A police officer who defended a female officer with a broken nose in Manchester Airport has been suspended from duty while those who attacked the female officer walk free, playing the victims. Alpha Fox said, expect more of this soon. Disgusting. Beaches are not toilets. Do not do it here. Stop open defecation. I can't believe you haven't even put a sign up for that one. Okay, Sarah Rose said after this disgusting hyena blew off Netanyahu yesterday, she takes a quick photo up with him and then leaves the room. She doesn't want to piss off her American flag-burning base. I don't know, for a minute his head looked like it had been superimposed on that body. I don't know, it just looked like, I don't know. C Reason said, hey Amazon, how's your high moral standards holding up now, you disgusting hypocrites? Amazon 2020, Trump suspended for hateful conduct. Amazon 2024, the only good Trump is a dead one. Oh my God. What is wrong with them? Amazon video site Twitch suspends Trump's channel, citing hateful conduct, but they sell these t-shirts that say the only good Trump is a dead one. That's disgusting. Juanita Broderick said, you, the American taxpayer, are paying to clean up this disgusting pro-Hamas mess. Were any of these degenerate animals arrested for disseminating these historic structures? Well done to the people who are cleaning it. Kangam Lee said, why do weirdos care more about misgendering a pedophile than pedophilic acts mentally deranged? The world has gone insane the past 10 years. Not going to play your games anymore. Stop trying to derail the conversation from Chris's disgusting crimes to misgendering. And this is in response to this Chris Tyson, what's Mr. Beast's sidekick, kindly says, since bozos are trying to cancel Kai, Senate and normal people for misgendering, I'm going to say that something that'll anger a lot of people. Chris Tyson is a man. A man cannot magically become a woman. He can play pretend, he can play dress up, but he'll never be a woman. And I agree with Kang Min Lee. Okay. Miss S 2023 said, pissed all the cash up against the wall, left Aboriginal people living in slums while she shopped at Gucci. A disgusting virtue signal that did nothing for Australians. Here she is. Prada, Gucci, David Jones. This woman here was Australian Aboriginal minister, I believe. She's just stepped down, I believe. Everyone's saying, don't let the door hit you on the way out. Bye-bye, Bernie. You did nothing to help the Aboriginal community, just added and paraded your Versace outfits. Now we were adding Versace to it as well. Then we got this. Tommy Robinson, disgusting. Diversity is a strength, apparently. That's what they used to say. Diversity is a strength. And taking a shit in the park. Great. Just 2 weeks, Juanita Broderick said, after President Trump was shot and Corey Competore was killed, Kamala Harris and the Democrats are back to threatening Trump supporters. Disgusting behaviour. Kamala Harris campaign sent these men to intimidate our activists in Philadelphia. This is unacceptable behaviour, especially just days after President Trump was shot at. I don't know why, but probably most of you won't know what I'm talking about, but these remind me of the people that LBRY has a problem with.
You ain't got a fucking job. Yeah, fucking camera down. Put the fucking camera down. Officer. You ain't got a fucking job.
Yeah. You tell them, mate. Sorry, but I mean, they just remind me of the people LBRY talks about. I don't know why. Okay. Pretend tough guys type thing, you know? Okay. We got Jill Biden at the Paris Olympics with Joe Biden and at the White House at the same time. People, how obvious does it have to be to realise you're not watching real people? Jill is not that short compared to Biden, so Biden's grown. Why does that remind me of Obama's posture? Maybe he's just dressing up like Joe now. I don't know. Maverick X said, why does Jill Biden look like Alice Cooper? Oh my God. She actually does, you know. Or did they superimpose Alex Cooper's face onto Jill Biden? I don't know, but she does anyway. Okay, here we go. Shadow of Ezra said after Joe Biden surrendered last night during his live speech, he was greeted by some people outside the White House, where he appeared much taller than usual. Pay attention to the difference in his weight when he walks side by side, his height, with Jill Biden compared to other pictures, okay, of him standing next to her. Okay, she is above his shoulder height. She is up to probably halfway up his ear. But in the first clip, can we click it? What's going on here? Okay, we can't make it big. Yes, we can. She's not even up to his... She's not even there. Look, seriously. I think that's the wrong Jill. I think the real Jill went to Paris. I don't know. She just strikes me as that type of person. She'd leave her husband and go to Paris. And get a fake one to stand beside her husband while he's... why is my mouse not working? Yeah, while he's standing down. Okay, Joe Biden has never been 6'4" tall like the body double towering over Jill and White House aides, and he's never in his life moved as well as this other body double caught on the way to his car. Okay, now we've got here in Sydney, overseas students are taking advantage of food charities. Many are getting their weekly groceries from charity and releasing how-to guides on taking advantage of the system. So that this is what's happening. Indians that are coming over here, and they're not just Indians, they're from all over, and teaching other people how to get into Australia, how to buy housing, how to rent housing, and how to exploit charities now. So I'm seeming to have a bit of a problem with my mouse here. Hello, mouse, would you work? Okay. Something's not working. Okay, guys, I'm going to leave it there for today. I will do videos this week until I can get back on live again. I'm not sure. Things are just getting very busy here, guys. And we got a little bit of snow yesterday. It was on and off all morning, but it was only very light. Nothing like what I've seen before. Okay, guys, I hope you have a good morning, afternoon or evening, wherever you are. And I'll talk to you soon. Have a good one. Bye. I can't stop the video. My mouse isn't working. Okay, come on.